Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sellers Society, right here on our YouTube channel, Amaozn Sellers Society. Very excited for this episode as always, but in case you didn't know, Sellers Society is not the name of our podcast, it's actually the name of our software. And you'll find more information about how this software can dramatically change your business on Amazon as well as on Shopify and help you be more profitable. sellerssociety.io for you to register and learn about all of the information that we are providing. In this episode, I'm going to be interviewing Rayan, who is the founder of Shorages. Shorages is an e-commerce fulfillment center based in beautiful Dubai, right here. And we're going to be talking with Rayan about everything related to e-commerce fulfillment. FBM, FBA, should you be doing FBA or FBM? When do you transition from FBM, you doing it yourself, to giving it to an e-commerce fulfillment center? What do you do if you don't live in the country where you are currently selling? All of those details and so much more. Are you ready? Let's get to work. So Rayan, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to sit down with you and talk about everything fulfillment and marketplaces and all of that. But before we get started, I know you've already been on the channel many times, but I want you to introduce yourself as well as Shorages.
Sure thing. Thank you for having me, Crystal. My name is Rayan. I am the founder of Shorages. A lot of people struggle with the pronunciation, but it's like storages, but instead of the T, there's an H. Shorages is basically what we are. We're an e-commerce fulfillment and distribution center. We help e-commerce clients with their operational requirements, everything that comes to storing their products in our warehouses, to picking, packing, and delivering those products to customers. This helps a lot of channels a lot of clients who sell on multiple channels, such as Amazon or their website, or sometimes even other marketplaces and retail channels as well. In short, we want to take the stress out of the operation from the hands of online sellers and onboarding that stress and handling it ourselves.
Now, before I continue with this interview, I did film a Sellers Society exclusive to the members of Sellers Society tutorial, in-depth tutorial with Rayan about how you are going to be able to manage your inventory. Do you order a large quantity? Do you order a small quantity? What do you need to do in order to manage your inventory in these very difficult and very odd times that we are living in when it comes to logistics, of course? So if you want to learn a little bit more, then you have to be a member of Sellers Society. You'll find, and a user of our software, you'll find, again, all of the information on our website, sellerssociety.io. Let's continue. Perfect. And as you know, most great businesses start from, and most great founders create these businesses because they have a problem and they want to fix the problem. They fix the problem for themselves and they decide, let me fix it for everyone else. So based on that, I know you have a wonderful story of why you created this great company and you're providing this service. But we want to talk here about, I want to address a certain comment that I get a lot on the channel and I see a lot on the videos. Most importantly, about when should I be selling FBA? Is it really, if I'm selling on Amazon, should I be letting Amazon fulfill my products? And is there an additional thing other than the product being FBA and being a prime product so customers can get it without shipping? So I'd like to know your thoughts regarding when, if I'm starting my journey on Amazon, should I be sending my products directly to FBA? Should I be fulfilling it myself? What other options do I have for both local sellers and maybe also international?
Yep. I mean, as you said, the story of Shorages started out of my experience as an e-commerce seller as well, selling on platforms like Amazon and through our own website. And the idea of Shorages came as a result of that. So that's on the point that you mentioned. For FBA versus FBM, We spoke about this before, but there are pros and cons to each side, right? So if we take them one by one, uh, with FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, you get certain benefits like your Prime label. And the Prime label has mainly two benefits. One is guaranteed shipping, quick shipping to the customer, right? And the second is you are prioritized on Amazon's marketplace because Amazon likes to sell their own FBA products. They make more money on FBA products. So they will position you in a better way compared to other products that are listed if you are doing FBA and you have the Prime label. So that, in short, will get you higher conversion rates when choosing to go FBA. That's one main benefit and the primary benefit of FBA. I would say the second benefit as well is no need to handle customer service. So when you are FBA, Amazon is handling all the customer service and you're relying on them to do that. So it does save you time and money from compared to like hiring someone that will handle the customer service part of the business. And the third benefit that also we've been seeing is the element of a buy box, where FBA products do have priority when it comes to the Amazon buy box compared to FBM products.
Yes, that is 100% true. So, as you know, most people start off this whole journey. They either are doing it by themselves, which means they have limited time, or they're doing it with something else. Like they have a full time business or they have a full time job, and then they decide to add this on top of it. Whether it's similar, they want to add Amazon as an additional sales channel, or it's just a completely new business for them. So, time is a very essential commodity. If somebody in the beginning starts with fulfilling their own products, okay, fine. But later on, if someone doesn't actually live in the UAE, and that's the beauty of selling online, you can live anywhere and sell anywhere. So if they don't have, they don't live in the country where they sell, whether that be UAE or anywhere, or if they don't have the time and they want to allocate it to someone, that someone would be a fulfillment center, an e-commerce fulfillment center. So what is an e-commerce fulfillment center for most people? Because I discovered that most people don't really know what it is. They think maybe you just send products over to Amazon or something like that. What is essentially an e-commerce fulfillment center? And this is where you're going to explain to us why Shorages and why you actually decided to come up with this idea called Shorages, this business.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. So we spoke a bit about FBA. The other option is fulfilled by merchant. And the way fulfilled by merchant works is that primarily you have two ways. You either do it yourself out of your home, out of your apartment or garage or whatever, whereby you prepare the orders that you're receiving through Amazon and then hand them over to either the Amazon courier or even work with a courier yourself. That's the first option, and it's an option I would recommend if one, you are a person who's situated in the country that you are selling in. So if you're selling in the UAE, you live in the UAE, then if you're starting out, it's always good to do it from home and learn the process and the experience from A to Z. Start off with FBM before you jump into FBA. Understand your product, understand your customers, and then once that becomes mature enough, then another FBM option you have is working with a fulfillment center who will essentially take what you have been doing at home and do it in a more professional, more seamless setting within a warehouse and an entire fulfillment center. Through a fulfillment center, if you're an Amazon seller, you do have access to the benefits that FBM can provide. So while we did say FBA, you get the Prime label, you don't need to handle customer service, you get the buy box. With FBM, what you're able to achieve through a fulfillment center is one, potentially lowering your cost, which means you can decrease and lower your price on Amazon, which will make you more competitive, which in turn will generate more sales because people on Amazon, if you're buying, let's say, a tripod, a camera tripod, people are looking for a good quality product that also has a good price. So FBM will enable you to potentially be more competitive in the price segment. Second benefit of working FBM through a fulfillment center, or even when you do it yourself, is you have more control over the customer service and more control over personalizing that customer service. So if you want to personally be in contact with your customers, then you need to be doing it through FBM. If you want to personalize orders, for example, fulfillment centers such as Shorages, they have more personalization elements, like a certain packaging process that you want done, maybe a letter that you want to include, or a discount that you want to include. Whereas with Amazon, you won't be able to do that. And the third very important point is having more control over your inventory. We see a lot of horror stories on Amazon when it comes to how much control you actually have over inventory. And here you also have hidden fees that Amazon applies, like long-term storage rate, where if you are selling through FBA and your product is not selling and it's been in the warehouse for a long time, then you'll have long-term storage rates. You have
Or it will
stock
be
removal
removed
rates.
even. It will
Yeah,
just
or it will
automatically
be
be
removed,
removed. Yeah.
or thrown out, or
Yeah.
discarded.
Yeah.
And then you have stock removal rates, which is another issue that a lot of people struggle with. So when you're working with a fulfillment center, it's kind of like an extension of your own business that you have more control over. It's a warehouse that you can visit, you can see your products, you can inspect your products, you can talk to the people who are preparing your orders. There is more of a human touch and human element to it. Nonetheless, also, like when working with a fulfillment center, you need to make sure that you're not compromising on the quality of the customer journey. Amazon is notorious to have next day delivery, quick delivery, guaranteed shipping. So the same at Shorages, we try to do the same things. We always try to be at least as good as Amazon when it comes to the customer experience, if not better as well. So that's another thing that comes out of working with a fulfillment center. FBA is always good if you're already selling a lot from a small item, because Amazon doesn't charge a lot the smaller your items are. If they're big items, FBA can become very expensive. So the type of product plays a role. And if all of your sales are coming from Amazon and you have these low size, fast moving products, then Amaozn FBA is always a good choice. But if your sales are less predictable, you're dealing with heavier or larger products, then you might want to consider looking into FBM. And another point that actually is, I would say, the biggest proponent of FBM is whether your sales strategy relies on omni-channel or purely Amazon. And this is something that I'd like to mention. So if sales are coming only from Amazon, yes, FBA could be a better option. But if you're looking to sell through other marketplaces or through your own website even, then it's very, very important that you have a centralized inventory location. It's better to have all your inventory in one fulfillment center that is fulfilling your orders through different marketplaces or through your website, compared to having to juggle inventory, which some might be in Amazon warehouses, some might be at home, some might be with a 3PL, because you'll find that very difficult to manage.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to ask you next, and you went ahead and said it. Exactly. So for people who are looking to sell on other marketplaces or on their own website as well, you need to have your units maybe in one central location and then send them, even if you're sending them not necessarily locally, even if you're selling your products on your own website to in different countries, you'll also be able to do that if you have your units centralized. So for anyone who's
on that point, like at Shorages, we do deliver globally. So our sellers sell on Amazon UAE, but also they sell on their website to customers in Saudi or in customers in Egypt. So we do cater to mainly the GCC market, but also a global audience as well.
Yeah, which is very exciting. So if somebody wants to work with an e-commerce fulfillment center and they're looking, there are a lot of options for you, because you have this experience. You've been a seller yourself, so you have experience related to e-commerce fulfillment centers. Not only do you own one, but you also know what things sellers need to watch out for. So if I was looking for an e-commerce fulfillment center anywhere in the world, because this service now thankfully is available everywhere, what are the things that I need to watch out for?
I would say there are three main things that you need to watch out
Yeah.
for. One is customer service, uh, two is price, and three
Yeah.
is technology. And I believe all three are also intertwined. So on customer service, when working with a fulfillment center, you want to be able to have a fulfillment center that you can comfortably reach out to, or that you have a representative that you can speak to, who can address orders, make changes, address issues very quickly. One problem with Amazon is that there is no personal touch. So you can't really reach out to someone in dire times to fix something. Whereas with e-commerce, you do have to fix things almost instantly. Like it's a matter of minutes of how quickly things need to be addressed. So one, make sure that you're being assigned a person that you can speak to when working with a fulfillment center who is uh, good enough to tackle your problems. So something we do at Shorages, for example, we don't have the concept of account managers. I think account managers are simply blocking just quicker actions. So we just introduce the warehouse team to the client, and then the warehouse manager essentially is the account manager for the client. So if there's any issue, it's actioned on the spot rather than let me direct this to the warehouse and then it goes into a 24-hour cycle, or at least. Um, so that's something that is important. The next thing which people should focus on is price. A benefit of selling FBM is that you need to be price competitive. So try to negotiate with your fulfillment center a pricing model which works for your business, because no two businesses are the same. You might be selling higher volume, lower margins, so you'd expect a lower price. You might be selling lower volume, higher margin, and then bulkier items, so that way the price may increase a bit. So try to find a pricing structure that works for both of you. And but on price, try to avoid very tempting low offers, because these could be signals of red flags. And we see it a lot in the logistics industry, where prices are extremely low, and then when you look at the operation behind, you start to understand why it's low. You start to understand the quality of the service that you're getting and the quality of people that you're dealing with when getting these very low offers. So I would say don't go very low, don't go very high. Find a sweet spot that, one, gives you a good service, two, keeps you competitive in terms of price, uh, and three, which I believe is the glue to service and price, is technology. The more technology that is being deployed, the more efficient the business, the fulfillment center is running. It means they're offering you a more competitive price because they're achieving efficiencies through the technology that is being used. So over here, you need to look at two things: the inventory side of technology and the order fulfillment side of technology. On inventory, check how will you be receiving updates on your stock. Do you have to email them on a monthly basis and they have to do a manual stock count for them to know how much products they have in your warehouse? That's like the bad option. Or do you have access to a system in real time that displays your inventory in real time in the warehouse, so that whenever you want, you can log into the system, you know how many units of each SKU that you have, which is the ideal system that you should be pushing for. That's on the inventory side. On the order fulfillment side, start asking questions like, how do I place an order? How do I view an order? And how do I track an order? Recently, for example, we were speaking to a courier company. We asked them, how do we place the order? They're like, oh, you send us a WhatsApp and you send the details through WhatsApp. This is chaos. Like, if you're managing tens or hundreds of orders a day, you cannot be running via WhatsApp. There has to be a clear system in place that either, one, integrates with your sales channel, or two, enables you to bulk upload orders on the system, where you have full record of the orders that you've uploaded. And then you can track those orders. Are they still in the warehouse? Have they been shipped from the warehouse? If they have been shipped from the warehouse, where are they now? So that you have full visibility on the cycle of an order. This is important because let's say a customer calls you as a business and says, hey, where's my order? It's late. Quickly, you can log into the dashboard, view your order, track it, rather than communicating through WhatsApp and
Yeah.
adding more inefficiencies.
Yeah.
So this is why, tech is really the glue that brings those two together.
Makes things much more efficient, faster for everyone as well.
Exactly.
Rayan, I want to ask you a question because I feel most people are going to be thinking about the same thing that I just happened to pop into my mind. So, maybe it seems a little bit too scary for someone that's starting out new in this whole e-commerce business, whether on Amazon, Noon, on their own website, it doesn't matter. Do you as Shorages need for a customer to be at a certain level so that maybe be like a really good seller, maybe have a lot of units in order for you to take them on as somebody that can use your services? Or is it open to anyone? Like, can anyone, if you see that this is a benefit for you, even if you're starting out, even if you're brand new and you don't have the time, you don't have the team, you don't have everything, you need to allocate it to an e-commerce fulfillment center. Would that be okay, or is there a certain threshold?
No, I mean, I can speak for ourselves. I don't know about other fulfillment centers because we've had experiences with logistics companies before who simply reject smaller clients.
Yeah.
For us, we're open to receiving anyone. We understand that a lot of startups who have a new product, a niche product, something that is really interesting for the market, we can grow with them, and we understand that growth could happen from taking a bet and taking a risk on these smaller companies, which is why our system is really built to be scalable. So um, we have the ability to manage hundreds of clients without it really impacting our business because of the way we've built our technology in that sense. So yeah, to answer that question, no, we do not have any limitation. Obviously, with fulfillment centers in general, the more volume you have, the more leverage and buying power that you have, the more you can negotiate prices. When you're starting out, it's a bit more difficult to do so. But still, what's important is finding a pricing that makes sense for both the fulfillment center and the online seller.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rayan. I will leave all the details of Shorages, and anybody who wants to contact you for additional information or to learn a little bit more, I will leave them all linked in the video, in the description box below this video. Thank you again for your time.
Fantastic. I mean, the best way to reach out to us really is through our website. There's a Calendly booking where you can make a booking with our business development team and then fill in a few questions just so that we understand you better before the call. And that makes the call a lot more smoother when we understand your requirements.